Jonathan Tah, the massive defender of German, who is doing a lot of back works for the German team in the Euros, has been linked with Bayern Munich. And hey, Arsenal is also linked with a player who is known for his winning mentality. PSV player for sure, and Chelsea as well is looking forward to see what they are capable of doing because they've already made a lot of signing in the transfer window as well. And Real Madrid is really interested in Saliba and also a young player that Real is battling with Liverpool to get his signature, but the release clause will just bust your mind. If you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like, and share the video. With me today is Emmanuel, and we will get you into details of the transfer news today. Yes, they've started the transfer with the 27 signing with your goalkeeper, David Raya. But then today we can see that they have linked with Feyenoord defender, Lutje Gertruda. And it looks like Liverpool and also PSG are all interested.
Yeah, I think there's the new season coming up will be competitive. Looking at last season, the way we finished second on the table, and Man City eventually were the winners of the league. Arteta will try and maybe try for the next time, the third time, because he's been second for twice now. Though his defense has not been bad, but I think he's now looking beyond Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, because you can't use both of them for all the competitions. You'll be playing a Premier League, you'll be playing the Carabao Cup, you'll be playing the FA Cup, Champions League. So you have to get like backups to assist them in some of the games, because using them in all of the games will just drain the player. So Arsenal going for such a player is not like something bad. For me, if he's good, I've not watched him that much. But if he's good and he can just assist Uber and Magalhaes, I think it will be a great addition to the team. Yeah.
Paulina, I think Joao Paulina has been linked on. He's almost done with the link from Fulham to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
And I think it's a worth of 47 point something million. Do you think Paulina will be able to fit into Bayern kind of playing system? Because we know they have just had a new coach, and then this guy in midfield with Fulham was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think his transfer has been long overdue, because somewhere in January last year, he wanted to make a move and it collapsed, I think, on the final days. Bayern have been pushing since they want to get the guy's signature, and I think now will be the time for them to sign him. From what I've seen, from the guy playing for Fulham, I think he's more of a box to box player. He's a defensive midfielder, but he can do the runs too. So Bayern Munich getting him will also be an addition to the team, because looking at like now they use Joshua Kimmich more of like a right back, so he can just come and fit in, so that like they can now rely on Joshua Kimmich as a right back in the defense. They have guys like Conor Lima and the other players in the Bayern team, but if you just find his feet in the Bayern Munich team, he will be a great addition to the team, because they need that player who will do the box to box in the team. So if he's added to like the Bayern Munich setup, I think it will be very good. And maybe Vincent Kompany too has an idea, because he's been in the Premier League last season, so he's seen his performance. Maybe he will just create another role for him in the team, so that it will accommodate the guy. I think it's a great addition, and Bayern Munich have been smart on that deal.
Nico Williams. We all know Chelsea and Arsenal were all interested, but the release clause scared them away. And right now, it looks like Liverpool are ready to trigger the release clause of Nico Williams. even though both clubs are still interested, do you think Nico Williams will prefer going to Liverpool?
Yeah, I think now he's the hot cake on the transfer market. The guy is balling in the Euros, and you can see he has the potential. He has the potential to become a great player. When he takes the ball, he can just dribble past two or three players. The guy has that potential to become a very great player. I heard the news concerning Barcelona that they wanted to sign him, but Barca financially they are not stable right now, so it will be a bit difficult. Liverpool getting him will be a very good signing because they already have Luis Diaz. He can just be sharing the position with Luis Diaz. He's a great player. For me, if Arsenal have a way of signing him, I'll be very glad because the guy is good. You watch him and you watch like this is a great winger. So I'm not surprised Liverpool are also pushing for the guy. His style of play, he can fit in so many teams. He can play for Barcelona, even Real Madrid. If they want him, the guy is also good. He can just become a backup to maybe Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. But Liverpool has to be very smart. They have to be very smart on that deal because now he's a hot cake on the market. So they can just quote any price or something. They just have to be very careful and know how to handle this deal. But for the guy, his potential, there's no question about it. He's a very good player. Yeah.
So talking about Barcelona and Arsenal, we all know Arsenal is linked with Julius Kounde, and
Yes.
Barcelona are actually waiting for Araujo move because if Araujo is not going to move, then probably they will look at Arsenal taking Julius Kounde with because they are just looking for possible way to get a money to enter into the transfer window as well. Do you
Yes,
think
because I think
Arsenal
they also want to balance their books, so they want to offload some of the players so that they can also make signings. For Arsenal signing Jules Kounde, I think it's not a good deal because Jules Kounde, fine, he's a great player. But coming into the Arsenal setup, I don't know whether he's going to play as a centre back or a right back because now he's more of like a right back than a centre back. That's where they've been playing him most times. And looking at Arsenal, we don't have this strong right back. But Jules Kounde coming into the team will not be of much help like a proper right back. So for me, if Arsenal are going for a proper right back, I don't think Jules Kounde is an option. Ronald Araujo is one of the players that PSG and other teams have also been monitoring for about 6 or 7 months now. And the guy had a very fine season and along the line, certain injuries and other things happened, so he didn't get like a full season. But he's a good player. For me, defensive wise, he's good, but he's not more of like an attacking minded player. He's more of like defense. And he's a defender, so you have to understand from his point. Barcelona should just be very careful on how to handle these situations because they can just offload so many of the players, and now signing some will be very difficult. So they have to keep their best and make sure they create room for other ones they can also sign. But they shouldn't just hesitate and offload all their best players because they want to balance their books. Because now transfers have been all about money and not about the attraction of the club or something like that. Barcelona is a big club. Everyone wants to play for Barcelona, but looking at their situation now, it will be very difficult for them to get some players.
big decision for a teenager, Leny Yoro? Real Madrid and Liverpool are really interested in the defender. He's very good youngster, but then the only problem with that transfer is his release clause, which is about 60 million. Do you think
Yeah,
don't that scare away this?
yeah. I think they are also looking from a point that he's very young. Sometimes these transfers, the age wise, also affect their value.
And also, I think this is the 12th month of him moving to that club as well. So he hasn't been long
Absolutely.
in that.
Yes. So signing a player who is very young, who can play for the next 15 or maybe 20 years. 60 is even small because the guy is good. And, now we don't have his type of defenders. We don't have like those defenders who will just scare strikers and everything. He's young, but he has this aura around him that scares strikers. So I think for me, 60 is even a good price. If you can just trigger the buyout clause and get the guy, he's a very good player. Yeah.
How about uh, Real Madrid actually interested in England international Guehi? Guehi,
Magoi. The English boys are also those also want to try new challenge. First, they hardly leave their comfort zone. Now Jude Bellingham left, Jadon Sancho left, and they can see that now the English boys are performing outside. For me, he going out of England to join Real Madrid. The only thing is, who is he going to bench in the team? You have Antonio Rudiger, you have Eder Militao, and now they are bringing in other guys too. From a Guehi, a standard, maybe he can try other things, but for Real Madrid it might take effect on his career for now. He can just wait for some time and maybe joins maybe some 2 or 3 seasons later. But for now, he has to take a very good decision because going to Real Madrid now might even affect your national team call up.
Real Madrid linked with Saliba, and their interest is keep on growing day by day. Particularly the performance he's putting out in this Euro have pulled a lot of interest to him. Do you think Arsenal will be able to release him to Real Madrid currently?
He's had a very fine tournament. The guy had a very fine season last season for us now, and he's having a great Euros. For me, I think yeah, he's passed through all the stages in football, and he has to go to the university now. Real Madrid and Barcelona are the University of Football, so he being linked to Real Madrid and Barcelona isn't a news. But he also has to be very careful. I confidently know, and I know for sure that he might even bench Eder Militao when he gets into the team. But for us now to sell the player to is another thing because now they feel like the guy is now established and they can get maybe 2 or 3 seasons out of him before they can even sell him to other teams. Now the decision lies with us now and the player, not with Real Madrid, because when Real Madrid comes to your player, it's either they are just coming to take it by force or they will just negotiate with the player back door and get the signature. But for now, I think when you're being linked to these kind of teams, just know that you are the top level in football and he deserves it. Yes.
Barcelona trying to do some offer
Yeah,
with their
Barcelona.
player Dani Olmo.
Yes.
He was a young player from Barcelona, and then he has moved on, and currently he has a release clause of 60 million and left with just 1 month for that release clause to expire.
Yes.
Barcelona are doing every possible means to get him on board. Do you think it's part of the balancing of books, or they just really need him as
Yeah,
a
yeah. I
unique
think
player?
that if you look at the RB Leipzig team carefully, he's been one of their top players for for some seasons now. The guy is not that big player, but he gives you the results. He's just one of those good players who are not being spoken much about. He has been in the team for about 2 or 3 seasons now, and his contribution to the team is very great. For Barcelona to go back to sign, maybe he's a Spanish boy, so they think he has the qualities and everything already. They don't need to um, talk to him that much, or adaptation will be a problem for him because he's been in the team before leaving to Germany. So I think Barcelona are being smart on in this transfer market. So it will be a great addition. But the problem is Barcelona, when you go to their team now, it's a new coach and everything. They are trying to get a new formation, new system. Maybe it's an advice from Hansi Flick too, because he's worked a guy in the Bundesliga and he knows his performance. So maybe bringing him on board will just be a great addition to the team for him. Maybe he also has a system he can build around the guy.
So Manchester City are also looking to uh, maybe fire a blow to a rival team.
Oh, yes,
That's Everton.
yes,
Going in for Braithwaite, because we
yeah.
know he's also linked with Manchester United. Manchester United is still there, but then it looks like the deal hasn't is not moving quicker as thought. And now Pep Guardiola, Man City is interested.
Now Manchester City is like one fine girl in a school, and every guy is chasing. That's how it is. If a player is being linked to Manchester City and you're the player, you will just feel like, okay, let me just go sign for them because now, if you look at their play, the trophies they are winning now, the club is now attractive for Manchester City to come to your player. It will take just a matter of time for them to just get the signature. For me, I feel like the guy is already gone. Yeah, they are just beating about the bush. But for me, I think the personal terms and everything, they are done with the guy. And he would eventually sign for Manchester City.
And
Everton should
now,
just find a replacement for him. I think he's gone.
lastly, Riccardo Calafiori.
Yes, Calafiori, yeah.
Yes, Now Arsenal have made a big step. Chelsea is still looking to get a player to actually pursue Bologna to get his signature.
Yes.
And it looks like Arsenal already have a unique or maybe a relationship with Bologna because of Tomiyasu.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And currently, they are also using the Champions League position to convince the player. But
Yes.
Chelsea are strong that maybe using a player with a money problem will convince Bologna. Where do you think
I think
Calafiori?
Bologna themselves qualify for the Champions League, right? Yeah, so he's also bound to play the Champions League next season. But the guy is also looking at, he's at a stage of his career that he has to start making something out of football, money wise, trophies and everything. So he's taking a decision whether to sign for Chelsea. For Chelsea now, we know that they are not playing the Champions League. So for me, I think Arsenal need a defender. In fact, a centre back. We need centre backs. We can't just rely on those two, Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba. If you are able to get the signature of the guy with maybe another guy with like Leny Yoro and the other guys, it will be a great addition. Chelsea, every player they want to sign.
No,
I'm
but the
just
thing is, they are looking for a left-footed defender, which they find it very difficult in getting.
absolutely, absolutely. That's the thing.
And Liverpool, Arsenal already had one in
Yes,
Gabriel.
Gabriel Magalhaes, I understand, but we have to get a backup. For Chelsea, they've been signing players, and I'm just not understanding their transfer policy. They'll just go in for any player. Maybe Arsenal will be linked to or Liverpool will be linked to just to increase the price of the player or something like that. I think they don't have a direction. Chelsea simply doesn't have a direction they are going. They are just buying everything. It would be a mistake for him to sign for Chelsea. If Arsenal is knocking on the door, for sure he has to go to Arsenal.
Thank you very much, Emma, for your time. Thank you
Yes.
very much for being with us. And guys, if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Ciao.
Cheers. Bye bye.